Hey everyone. Welcome to my channel B&B Glow. Brooke reacts to Nick's lip lock. According to Tuesday, June 17th spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Brooke Logan will respond to Nick Marone's lip lock. Brooke will have an opportunity to react shortly because Nick just kissed her at Forrester Creations. Given that Brooke has been feeling so rejected by Ridge Forrester lately, the kiss obviously left her speechless and heartbroken. Brooke deserves so much more, according to Nick, and now that he's made out with her, he's given her a glimpse of what life may be like with him. Nick will give Brooke something to ponder as he continues to turn on the romance and charm on Tuesday's show. The prospect of a reunion with Nick will be very alluring, even though Brooke was previously all for a reunion with Ridge. Regarding Taylor Hayes, she will exert a little more pressure and attempt to elicit some candor from Ridge. Taylor would push more and question whether that's truly all there was to it, even though Ridge reassured her that the big stuff was just about work. No matter how much Ridge says he's dedicated to Taylor, he will always be pulled back to Brooke, even if he provides more assurance. Luna will keep watching Hayes Finnegan from outside the beach home in the meantime. By midweek, B&B fans may anticipate that Luna will have planned her next move, which will be giving Hayes a gift. Luna is about to cause more mayhem, but Steffi Forrester isn't aware of it yet. Luna will carry out a plan that jeopardizes their wonderful existence together, even though John Finnegan has promised to defend his family. Stay in for updates on all the terrifying news that awaits Hayes, Steffi, and anybody else involved in this, as it appears like Luna has a plan to kidnap. According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Luna will become even more unstable in the upcoming episodes, posing a threat in the process. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for Tuesday, June 17, 2025, include Nick's romantic gesture, Brooke's hesitation, and Taylor's confrontation. Fans should anticipate that Nick Marone will request another opportunity from Brooke Logan. In the meantime, Taylor Hayes and Ridge Forrester confront the reality of their relationship and his desires for Brooke. Let's discuss the upcoming events in the CBS soap opera as you continue reading. The romantic motion of Nick Marone. Let's start with Nick, who caught Brooke off guard as she was getting dressed. The blonde was excited to see her old flame rather than upset. The news of the coup appears to have gone viral. Nick mentioned the takeover to his ex, even though it has already been reversed. Nick also learned that Ridge was seeing Taylor once more. The fact that Brooke was still lusting for Ridge seemed unbelievable to Wagner's character. Before bursting into song, he reassured the blonde that Ridge would never change. The reluctance of Brooke Logan. Nick desires another opportunity with Brooke. Brooke has yet to respond to him, despite the fact that they kissed. It is well known that Brooke confides in Katie Logan about Nick's proposal during the week. The confrontation of Taylor Hayes. According to spoilers for tomorrow's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful, Ridge and Taylor will carry on their challenging conversation. Taylor asked Eric Forrester if he thought Bridge should be together. Although Taylor and Eric's talk was cut off, it appears that she is far more confident than she acknowledges, or that she wouldn't feel the need to inquire. June 17, 2025, Monday. After Ridge returned home, Taylor continued to bring up Brooke and the altercation. When Taylor asked about Brooke, she expected a straightforward response. Ridge's heart still appears to beat for Brooke even if he is devoted to Taylor. Ridge hasn't acknowledged it as of yet. However, a lot of problems could arise from this difficult conversation between Ridge. The situation can worsen if Ridge learns that Nick has returned for Brooke. Additionally, there is the case of Carter Walton and Hope Logan. Was it only because Liam Spencer pushed Cope back together that Hope agreed to the dress? What occurs when Liam passes away? Will Hope shatter Carter's heart again, or will she continue to be with him? Ridge and Taylor face the reality. There will be several challenging moments throughout the day. Ridge and Taylor are facing the reality of their relationship and Brooke's persistent presence. Additionally, Nick starts dating Brooke right away. You won't want to miss a second of the spectacle, which promises to be a day full of drama. Watch on CBS or Paramount Plus as the consequences of previous choices continue to influence these legendary characters' futures, keeping fans on the edge of their seats. On The Bold and the Beautiful before. Hope was recently informed by Brooke that she would always and forever be Ridge. Brooke had faith that she and Ridge would eventually reconnect. But at the moment, Ridge is with Taylor, Rebecca Budig. During the last fashion show, Eric undoubtedly tried to encourage his son and Brooke to get back together, but Ridge refused to back down. With Taylor, he was creating his life. Naturally, Taylor is upset that Brooke is still around and is trying to persuade Ridge to get back together with her. She has attempted, but failed, to tell Brooke to back off. But now that Nick is back, Brooke might start to show interest in someone else. Even if he claims to be with Taylor, Ridge is unlikely to like Nick's return to Los Angeles, and tensions between the three will inevitably rise. As they all try to amicably negotiate the various complexities of their entwined pasts, emotions will surely run high. Nick starts dating Brooke right away. Taylor and Ridge face the reality of their love and the lady who remains between them in a heartfelt conversation. Taylor's delusional pursuit of Ridge crumbles while Brooke thrives. B&B spoilers expose Taylor Hayes' desperate manipulation as Eric firmly stands with Brooke. Nick Marone enchants Brooke with true romance, while Taylor's pitiful attempts to trap Ridge fall flat. Nick sweeps Taylor off her feet as her desperate plans backfire. It's becoming more difficult to witness the desperation, which is real. Everyone, notably Eric Forrester, who just gave Taylor Hayes the much-needed reality check, can see that she has officially reached her lowest point in her pitiful pursuit of Ridge Forrester. Did she pay attention, though? Obviously not. Taylor's disgraceful effort to win Eric over. Let's discuss the events that transpired at the Forrester mansion. In fact, Taylor believed she could waltz in and convince Eric to back her irrational connection with Ridge. Is she acquainted with Eric? Since the beginning of time, the man has been a member of Team Brooke. It hurt to watch the scene. In order to justify her relationship with Ridge, Taylor was essentially pleading with Eric to support her. Eric, however, is able to see through her deceptive strategies. We all know that the only reason Ridge stays with Taylor is because he is too obstinate to acknowledge his own mistakes. Eric had no intention of pretending otherwise. The most pitiful thing is that Taylor is aware of this. Ridge's passion for Brooke Logan is known to her. Eric wants them together, and she knows it. She clings passionately to a man whose heart belongs to another woman, but she keeps up this humiliating act. In every scene, her insecurity is evident on her face. Ridge's imprints on Taylor's failed plans. What's even more embarrassing about Taylor's actions is that she doesn't seem to mind becoming Ridge's consolation prize. As one observer so eloquently stated, she doesn't even care that Ridge's footprints are on her forever. Consider it. Taylor would probably rush Ridge to the wedding tomorrow if she could, because she is so desperate to lock him down. Why? Because she knows in her heart that time is running out. She is aware that each day Ridge spends with her brings him one step closer to understanding that Brooke is the one he belongs with. The level of desperation has escalated. She is doing everything she can, including influencing Eric, trying to incite opposition to Brooke, and most likely organizing a hasty wedding before Ridge realizes his mistake. It's pure, unadulterated desperation, not love, and each episode makes it harder to bear. Brooke, meanwhile, finally receives the romance she deserves. For once, Brooke is enjoying herself while Taylor is occupied with embarrassing herself. Brooke has been blown away by Nick Marone, who has been demonstrating to her what it's like to be with someone who genuinely wants to be with her. There is no more pronounced contrast. Taylor is depicted on one side as frantically plotting and pleading for meager amounts of love from a man who doesn't care for her. Nick, on the other hand, is making it very evident that Brooke is his first option and not a consolation prize as he pursues her. To be honest, Nick has been acting charmingly. The time has come for Brooke to be valued for her true self. No peeking at another woman over his shoulder. Avoid being evasive. Just romance and real interest. The disparity is a stark contrast. Eric remains firm, supporting Brooke at all costs. Let's give Eric the credit he deserves. He had the option of remaining impartial, giving Taylor false optimism, or throwing her a bone. But no. Eric stated his position clearly, and it is strongly in favor of Team Brooke. Taylor must be hurt by this rejection. She believed she could influence the patriarch of Forrester to turn against Brooke and possibly win some support for her phony romance. Instead, she received the reality check that everyone else has been receiving for months. Ridge belongs with Brooke, and no amount of last-ditch manipulation will alter that. Will Ridge finally leave due to Taylor's horrible conduct? How much more of Taylor's insecurity can Ridge handle at this point, you have to ask. Every desperate attempt to confine him, every cunning plan, and every pitiful cry for approval just serves to drive him more away. When he stares at her, it's evident in his eyes. That's duty combined with remorse, not love. In the meantime, Brooke and Nick are living their best lives together and aren't pleading with anyone for anything. Taylor is reduced to groveling for scraps while she is pampered like the queen she is. Ridge must be being eaten away by the contrast. When will he come to the realization that he is not with the right woman? Brooke should just let Ridge live with that useless piece of trash and suffer for the rest of his life, according to some viewers. And truthfully, perhaps that's precisely what he deserves after all of his evasive actions. Allow him to remain with someone who must con him and use deceit to keep him around. While Brooke finds happiness with someone who truly values her, let him realize what is missing. The absence of trashy Taylor would improve the show. I'll just state what many fans already believe. The show would be far more enjoyable without Taylor's persistent manipulation and desperation. It has gotten unpleasant to watch every scene with her. It's tiring to deal with the insecurity, the plots, the pitiful attempts to trap Ridge. In the most recent episodes, Taylor was more repulsive than ever. Even for her, seeing her attempt to control Eric while fully aware that he approves of Brooke and Ridge's relationship was a new low. How can anyone support someone who is so obviously in need? In actuality, Taylor is aware that she is living on borrowed time. She is aware that Ridge's love for Brooke is greater than his love for her. She is aware that everyone can spot her ploys. Nevertheless, she keeps going, becoming more pitiful every day. What will happen to this mess next? All eyes are on Ridge as we proceed. Will he awaken at last and realize what's in front of him? Will Taylor eventually lose it because of his desperate actions? Or will he keep allowing obligation and guilt to keep him in this fake relationship? There's little doubt that Nick's arrival will cause a stir. Ridge must be uneasy since he's already demonstrating to Brooke what true romance looks like. A little competition is the best way to make someone realize how much they stand to lose. You can't make someone love you, no matter how much Taylor tries to continue her pitiful plans. You cannot win someone over by manipulation. Furthermore, desperation and insecurity are not the foundations of a long-lasting partnership. This ridiculous relationship is coming to an end. Ridge could be Taylor's for the time being, but how long? Perhaps it is time to confront reality when even Eric Forrester refuses to endorse your relationship. Knowing Taylor, though, she will simply intensify the urgency. How much longer can fans put up with Taylor's pitiful performance? In what amount of time before Ridge realizes the truth? And once Brooke finds happiness with Nick, will she even want him back? Ridge and Taylor face the reality. Fans of The Bold and the Beautiful won't soon forget the emotionally packed episode that aired on June 17th, in which Taylor Hayes and Ridge Forrester finally faced the upsetting realities that had been boiling beneath the surface of their complex relationship. One of the most compelling episodes of the season, the episode was a masterwork of dramatic tension, unfiltered passion, and long overdue confrontations. The air was heavy with unresolved past, lingering pain, and the unquestionable connection that has always marked Ridge and Taylor's friendship from the time they first met. Viewers were rewarded to powerful performances by Hunter Tylo and Torsten Kay, who gave each word depth and vulnerability as they sliced through the layers of dishonesty, remorse, and lost opportunities. Taylor, who has always been the voice of reason, called Ridge out on his tendency to be indecisive, especially when it comes to his emotions, which created an uncomfortable atmosphere at the start of the discussion. Both Taylor and Brooke have suffered emotional harm as a result of Ridge's years-long indecisiveness. Taylor wasn't holding back this time. Ridge was forced to acknowledge the harm his hesitancy had caused when she demanded answers. "Ridge, how many times are we going to experience this?" she questioned, her voice quivering with a mixture of anguish and annoyance. Ridge, clearly conflicted, tried to defend himself, but Taylor's remarks struck hard. "You say you love me, you say you want a future, and then the second Brooke looks your way, you're gone again." Ridge seemed to actually hear her for the first time in a long time, and the consequences of his own behavior seemed to sink in. The past interactions between these two people were what made this showdown particularly interesting. One of the most heartbreaking and enduring love stories on Bold and the Beautiful is that of Taylor and Ridge. Their relationship has been a rollercoaster from the beginning, when they seemed to be an impenetrable couple, to the innumerable betrayals, losses, and resurrections, literally, in Taylor's case. Nevertheless, there has always been an indisputable draw between them in spite of everything. Even as it revealed the cracks, the episode from June 17th emphasized that magnetic link. Ridge once grabbed for Taylor's hand with an uncommon display of tenderness in place of his customary bluster. Fans went crazy when he said, "Maybe I keep coming back to you because you're the one who really sees me." Was this Ridge's final decision to choose Taylor permanent? Or was it really another brief epiphany before the next storm? Taylor's tearful admission of how much his back and forth has cost her, not just in love, but also in self-respect, was the emotional high point. She admitted, "I've been waiting for you to pick me for years. And each time you don't, it erodes my identity." Struck, Ridge appeared to understand the seriousness of his behavior. But as always, Brooke's presence lurked in the background, just as it appeared that he would finally commit. Ridge's uncertainty reappeared when she disrupted the moment with a well-timed phone call. The meaning was obvious. Brooke's grip on him is unbreakable, regardless of how close he is to Taylor. As soon as possible, fans rekindled the #Bridge versus #Tridge arguments on social media. While some chastised Ridge for his unwillingness to adapt, others applauded Taylor for at last defending her position. There was no denying that this confrontation was long overdue and that it sets the stage for far more dramatic and explosive events to come. Will Ridge end the cycle at last? Or will Taylor permanently leave after years of heartache? The episode on June 17th was particularly noteworthy, demonstrating once more why The Bold and the Beautiful is still a major force in daytime dramas. Taylor and Ridge's meeting was a must-watch moment, with outstanding performances, incisive writing, and intensely intimate emotional stakes. It will surely have long-lasting effects. One thing is evident as the aftermath develops: the truth hurts in The Bold and the Beautiful universe, but it also makes for great TV. Note: to achieve the full length, each of the major moments, Ridge's hesitation, Taylor's monologue, fan reactions, and historical callbacks, would be supplemented with more in-depth analysis, direct quotes, and behind-the-scenes insights. This is a simplified version of a 1,500-word analysis. Brooke thrives as Taylor's delusional pursuit of Ridge fails. The June 17th episode was a devastating blow to #Tridge fans, as Taylor was forced to face reality. No matter how much she loves Ridge, no matter how many times he leads her on, he will always choose Brooke in the end. Brooke, meanwhile, thrives, unshaken by Taylor's emotional pleas, proving that history truly does repeat itself on this show. For years, The Bold and the Beautiful has revolved around the never-ending love triangle between Ridge Forrester, Brooke Logan, and Taylor Hayes. However, in recent episodes, a harsh reality has become evident. Taylor's desperate, delusional pursuit of Ridge is finally coming to an end, and Brooke once again emerges victorious. Taylor's delusion, a heartbreaking trend of irrational hope. The episode that aired on June 17th may have been the last nail in the coffin for Taylor Hayes, the brilliant psychiatrist who can analyze everyone else's problems except her own, who has spent decades trapped in the same cycle, believing that this time, Ridge will finally choose her over Brooke. In a heartbreaking confrontation, Taylor poured her soul out to Ridge, reminding him of their shared history, their deep connection, and the family they built together. She argued that they belong together, that Brooke has manipulated him too many times, and that he knows she, Taylor, is the better woman for him. For a split second, it appeared as though Ridge would agree. But suddenly everything became real. Ridge hesitated as usual. Before he could fully commit to Taylor, Brooke's influence returned, this time in the guise of a phone call, and his face contorted in that familiar expression of agonizing doubt. The symbolism was harsh. Brooke continually pulls Ridge back, know of how much he says he loves Taylor. When Taylor realized that no matter how many heartfelt speeches she made, Ridge's heart has never really been hers to keep, she was left standing alone once more. Why Brooke is unstoppable and always wins. Brooke Logan seems as unconcerned as ever, while Taylor descends into despair. She no longer needs to fight since Ridge always finds her. The pattern repeats no matter how many times Ridge claims he is done with Brooke or how many times Taylor makes her case. What's the worst? Brooke is aware of this. Because she is sure that Ridge would eventually come back to her, she doesn't freak out when he spends time with Taylor. She's correct, too. In addition to love, Brooke's dominance over Ridge stems from their shared history, chemistry, and an almost irresistible attraction. Their relationship is unbreakable, even when they disagree and are with other individuals. Although Taylor can provide Ridge with consistency, empathy, and unshakable love, she is unable to match #Bridge's unadulterated, turbulent passion. And for that reason, Taylor will never really succeed, no matter how hard she tries. The last strike. Will Taylor leave at last? Will Taylor eventually concede defeat after this most recent rejection? She's let Ridge switch between her and Brooke for years, And no matter how many times he hurts her feelings, she always takes him back. However, it felt different this time. This time, the anguish in her eyes was resignation rather than merely sadness. The knowledge that she will never be sufficient for Ridge, know of what she accomplishes. Taylor will permanently leave if she still has any dignity. She will put herself first and cease pleading for crumbs of Ridge's love. However, since characters on Bold and the Beautiful never really grow up, it's likely that she will return, believing that things would be different this time. #Tridge vs #Bridge war reignites fan reactions. Fans are divided, as one might expect. Supporters of #Tridge are incensed, denouncing Ridge as a cowardly coward for once again encouraging Taylor before abandoning her as soon as Brooke snaps her fingers. No matter how many detours he makes, Ridge and Brooke are endgame, as #Bridge supporters gloatingly point out as they celebrate yet new triumph. There is little doubt that this plot will continue. Even though Ridge stumbled today, Taylor's heartache is still very much alive. Is she going to move on at last? Will she continue to pursue a man who will never genuinely pick her? Perhaps most importantly, will Brooke ever lose? Final verdict: Brooke is still in control, while Taylor's irrational chase of Ridge is imploding in real time. We can't quit watching B&B because of certain things that never change.